time. I have to say, I've been talking about this for about 5 years, where I've just felt like this boring lady where you want to kind of move away from her at the dinner party because all she does is talk about flame retardants. And I had really wondered if I would go to my grave being the boring lady ranting about flame retardants. And then suddenly, after the Tribune article and the governor's press release, people like Dick Durbin, who's the majority whip in the Senate, were ranting about flame retardants, and were really mad.
Thank you. We need to protect these children and these families when it comes to toxic chemicals. Let me tell you what the bottom line is. The Chicago Tribune series made it clear that over a span of decades, there was a campaign of marketing and deception. It makes no difference whether your grandbaby is a Democrat or Republican or an independent. We need to stand together as families across America to protect these kids. Thank you for being here today.
Health advocates and the chemical industry are facing off in Washington this week.
It's a move to update safety standards for chemicals used in everyday products. Today, Barbara Boxer's Senate subcommittee met to discuss the overhaul of the 1970s federal chemical regulation. The Safe Chemicals Act would allow the EPA to require proof that they are safe before they're put on the market. Among those testifying is a San Francisco firefighter.
I was contacted by Senator Lautenberg's office and asked to go back to Washington, D.C. to testify before a Senate committee in favor of the Safe Chemicals Act. I've been in enough situations in my life that dealt with life or death on the job as well as what I've gone through. And these are our representatives. They're working for us. Why should I be intimidated? The rates of contracting various forms of cancer in the firefighting profession is increasing. We are also fully aware that these flame retardant chemicals bioaccumulate in our blood. Senator Lautenberg. Neurodevelopmental. Meeting starts at 10 a.m. this morning. I'm ready.
The hearing will come to order. The purpose of this hearing is to review the need to reform the Toxic Substances Control Act, otherwise known as TSCA, the primary law that regulates chemicals in this country.
What we understand right now is that these are important chemicals that have to be dealt with because of their bioaccumulative process that is actually proven in medical science right now.
Okay, thanks.
My name is Hannah Pingree, and I thank you for this invitation. I'm here as the former Speaker of the Maine House. The fact that Washington is now really seemingly paying attention is exciting. I definitely did not imagine myself, sitting next to the chemtrail lobbyists and the other industry lobbyists and great California firefighter. But I felt good about it. I felt like I am exactly what we're talking about. I'm a pregnant woman who's being impacted by these chemicals, and so I should be here.
The Senate bill would mandate a new round of EPA review for every new use of a previously approved chemical and every significant increase in use of an existing chemical. The implications for EPA's overburdened resources, for EPA's ability to prioritize, and for industry's ability to innovate would be very significant.
Let me try to get an answer to my first question. Does Chemtura concede any danger from these two flame retardants that you've identified?
Again, in terms of the expected exposures, in 2006, CPSC published expected exposures or predicted exposures of TBB, and those are much lower than any level that was predicted to have any sort of an effect. So in those terms, the answer to your question would be that no, those are...
They're perfectly safe. Okay.
In Maine, we had an industry front group. We had many of the companies represented at this table, the American Chemistry Council, spending huge amounts of money, misleading legislators and doing whatever they could. I don't trust these companies to tell the truth about their chemicals, and I don't think the American public or you as senators should either.
I want to thank all of you for coming here today. So I have a question I want each of you to answer yes or no. There's no other answer, just yes or no. And I'm going to start with Hannah. Do you agree that chemical manufacturers should have to prove through unbiased studies that their products are safe for pregnant women, for infants, and for children before they can sell those chemicals in the United States?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Could you repeat the question?
Do you agree that chemical manufacturers should have to prove through unbiased studies that their products are safe for pregnant women, for infants, and for children before they can sell those chemicals in the United States?
Respectfully.
No, not respectfully. Yes or no?
Question cannot be answered without explanation.
Mr. Stefani.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me just say, I know that it's a little harder for lawyers to answer yes or no, but this one?
The fact that they are holding hearings and paying attention is a big deal. They got that it wasn't just about flame retardants, it was about the big picture. But the reality is, the American Chemistry Council is working absolutely overtime to try to influence members of Congress to stop this bill. They know that it has traction with the American public, so they don't want it to get out really into the light of the day. If it's on the floor of the Senate, they know it's problematic, because when you get a group of moms angry, politicians don't want to be on the other side of them.
We've brought the signatures of 130,000 Americans with us, gathered by many cultures. We are delivering these signatures to our senators to show how many people want action.
When people's voices are heard, retailers might start taking action. Those kinds of changes are happening, but the only reason they happen is that regular people have stood up and said, "Look, we don't want to take it anymore."
So if there's a furniture company that wants to be part of the solution, we want to meet with them. We want to collaborate with them. We want to actually triangulate with them to force the chemical companies to stop making those furniture companies to use their chemicals. And then for companies that actually are just looking for a quick buck, we're going to kick them in the nuts and force them to stop.
Citizens for Fire Safety, they folded. Or they said they folded. The website with the smiling children and the red brick Americana firehouse, that doesn't exist anymore. I think the big question is, will the world change? It's not just our furniture, it's not just California Technical Bulletin 117, it really is about how we as a society view chemicals, how we vet them or don't vet them. And who are we listening to when we're being told these chemicals are safe, they work, they protect us, they are essential to our lives? Who are we listening to? It's really, I think, the crux of it.
So we're really excited about the new Technical Bulletin 117, 2013, that's going to be put in place to eliminate these toxic chemicals.
Well, I'm optimistic when a small band of 1,000 people or 2,000 people can take on a multi-billion-dollar industry and say, we will stop you from using those poisonous chemicals in our furniture. We did that on people power. However, I don't think that we can celebrate yet. I hope what we did in California is, in a way, inspirational for the rest of the country to, in their legislatures, in Congress, and so on, to turn the spigot off on these poisons and have sane chemical policy.
Yeah, do you want some milk? Yeah. His name is Graham Allison Carr Stone, and Graham is a family name, and then Allison is our friend who passed away, Allison Green. And so we said, first baby, we said, okay, it's a boy, we'll give us another shot. If we have a girl, she can have Allison as her middle name. Well, we have a boy with Allison as his middle name, right? After her, in her memory and her spirit.
Seeing firefighters that I worked with for years succumb to this hideous disease called cancer, it has a profound effect on my life on a daily basis. I know when I came in 1974, I was not concerned about cancer. It was the last thing on my mind. Every time that we rolled out our doors, we were going out for one reason, and that was to help somebody. And when you have a big fire It gets to the point where, okay, we draw the line right here, and this is as far as that fire is going to go. We're going to put it out. You don't let the fire win. We win.